Hi everyone, this is daveac.blit.tv and this is my vblog 090 for Friday the 9th of April 2010. Well, it's a bit of a double up, a bit of two up, a bit of two off, a bit of tea off, a bit of jet off, and I don't know what of. Yes, I'm recording this late as family, real life, meet space, whatever the word it is that people talk about, has slightly intruded on my internet activities. I'm slightly disturbed because I'll just show you very briefly, I've got the golf on, aim and corner. The picture's not as bad as it just looked then on there, but it's on my little telly, and we've got the little bit of aim and corner. Let's have a little bit of audio to see what's happening.
Well, struggled on his last 9 holes yesterday.
I can't really play it because it's
it is held on.
But it's brilliant. Tiger Woods is back playing golf, of course. Tom Watson was in the lead the last time I looked at the leaderboard. It's the Masters, and it really kicks off the golfing year. Bernard Langer, or Bernard Langer, as they keep saying on the commentary, is going around Amen Corner at the moment. Looks like he's on the 11th green. No, just missed the green. Anyway, that's while you listen to me, I'm going to one eye on the golf. Sorry about that. Well, yeah, it's a bit of a two off, and everything, because and I'm going to have to refer to my notes because we are already after my evening meal, and I usually try and do this about 3, 4, 5 hours ago, so I apologise for that. But anyway, that's enough of my little problems, but it will mean I'm going to refer to some of my little notes. Wine at the end, of course. I haven't got a book, but I have got some music, and I've got quite a lot of things. Well, I said 2 of things. Well, first of all, 2 lots of award pages. No, I won't. I'll talk about 2 podcasts, and these are both Cult and Collective podcasts. Of course, Doctor Who Podshock had their first live event last Sunday, and I helped out a little bit with that, and that is on the feeds, and I've given some information about that. That was doing, of course, about the first Matt Smith story that aired last Saturday. But as it's Friday today, tomorrow at on BBC One and BBC HD will be the 2nd episode, and it's called The Beast Below. And I won't give a spoiler other than say it is set in the future, and there will be a returning person, hopefully, in that episode. But yeah, I'm really excited and looking forward to that. This will be a standard length episode, not the 65 minutes of last week. It's a standard sort of 45-minute episode, and we'll get to hear the new theme a little bit more clearly, and we've got the new credits, and everything's really exciting. So the 2 podcasts I really want to mention are the Cult and Collective podcast that we did at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on TalkShoe ID 54821, where we actually had the collective together and talked about our initial feelings and what people thought about the episode. And there was some difference. It wasn't universally liked, but it was I would say 85 to 90% of the people in the room were really keen and thrilled with how it had set itself off and launched the new quote-unquote Doctor. But then Ian and myself, in a studio episode, decided that we couldn't contain ourselves, and we went ahead and did a commentary show on the 11th hour. We crack open the bottle one more time, and we did a commentary on it. So 2 shows for you. We hope you'll check out. And while you're at it, why not just go the whole hog, go to iTunes and subscribe. Would much appreciate that. And remember, we do have the Facebook fan page, the Cult and Collective podcast fan page. You can find that if you're on that. So that's 2 podcasts, 2 lots of awards. Well, I've got the page, and I'm going to have to refer to them here. There's the Welsh BAFTAs, and the nominations for this year's Cymru Awards have been released. And once again, it's Doctor Who and spin-offs are up for several awards. So I'm just going to read them very quickly. Best Drama Series, Serial for Television, Doctor Who, The End of Time Part 1, and Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 1. But now they can split it up really, because it was the whole 5 days to me added as a single unit. Best Children's Programme, Sarah Jane Adventures is up for that. Best Sound, Torchwood is up for that. Best Editor, Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 1, up for that. Best Design, Doctor Who, Waters of Mars. Best Costume, Torchwood, Children of Earth. Best Makeup, Doctor Who, End of Time Part 1. Best Screenwriter, Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 1. That, of course, Russell T Davies. Best Original Music Soundtrack, Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 1, Ben Foster. Best Actress, Torchwood, Children of Earth, Day 1, Eve Miles. So that is the BAFTA Cymru Awards, and there are 31 nominations in all, but those are the ones that were Doctor Who and spin-off related, and the actual ceremony itself is on Sunday the 23rd of May at the Wales Millennium Centre. So that's one awards. The other is that, and this is one that's already gone ahead, Aardman Animation sweeps the board at the British Animation Awards. And of course, Shaun of the Sheep, and all the other great Aardman classics that we look, Wallace and Gromit and so on. So I'm very pleased about them, although that's not science fiction, it is British TV and programme making at its best. The studio won the Children's Choice Award for It's a Matter of Loaf and Death. So really, really great. So 2 of those. What else? Well, tonight at 9 o'clock, in a couple of hours, it's episode 2 of Ashes to Ashes. That series got off to a fairly good start. It wasn't a rip-roaring success, and it really only came to life once we got the main characters back into position, and it really got going at that point. Well, we are promised that it's going to really bring everything together with the Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes storyline being brought together. And as I say, once the Gene Hunt character was on screen, it really fired off and really gets going. So I'm really looking forward to that tonight. What else? Well, we've got another couple of things coming up. 2 more of the shows. One is The Prisoner, the remake of The Prisoner that has already aired in the States. That is finally coming to the UK. I think it's going to be on ITV, and I think it starts on Saturday the 17th of April. So I am looking forward to seeing this reimagining, as they keep calling it, that programme. So that is really something exciting. And there was another programme, and would you believe it, I can't see it in my notes at the moment. I'll come back to it, but there were definitely 2. I've lost the plot already, David. Well, I've lost one of the plots. But I'm also excited because I'm going to taste 2 wines at the end. So that's another 2. Other bits and pieces of news. Well, I went ahead with my PS3 software upgrade. Remember, this is for people who've got the older PS3. When you do this latest upgrade, it will stop you from, if you ever want to in the future, add a second operating system and a new operating system like Linux. You can't do it once you've gone to this new update. And just to let you know, that software update is 3.21. 3.21 is the thing. I've gone ahead with that. It seemed to go flawlessly. I'm not going to put Linux on my machine, so I'm quite happy to go ahead with that. What else? Oh yes, this weekend, currently now as I'm talking, the Channel 5 Gadget Show, because remember I try and do a little bit of tech on this programme, is airing. That's a special live show that they're doing over about 3 nights. I think it's in London. I'm not sure if it's at the Olympia, but that's going ahead. And if I can get a little clip of that next week, I'll try and show you a little bit of that. And what else? Oh yes, there was a small matter of OS 4 for the Apple iPhone was reviewed, released, presented, and the main update to that, well, there seems to be two main updates. One is the fact that you can actually, do more than one thing at once. But for the developers, the biggest thing seemed to be that they could add adverts to their apps. Not too sure how many Apple iPhone users will be pleased with that little thing. Although I suppose you could argue that the apps could be either cheap or free if they got adverts in them. And the other thing is that there was a limit on how many apps you could have. I think it was something like 3,046. But now, if you turn each of those into a folder, you can have so many more apps, and each one will be classed as folders. So you can have 3,046 folders, I believe. So you could have actually hundreds of thousands of apps on your iPhones. And there also seems to be a little bit of a rumour going about that they will be the fourth generation of the Apple iPhone coming out, maybe as early as May. And one of the tech thing, sorry about this, is a little bit garbled, but one of the thing is there possibly could be a new device coming from Apple that's a smaller version of the iPad, bigger than the iPhone, but smaller than the new iPad. That may be not so much for generating content on, but basically for playback. So that's going to be, I suppose it's going to be this sort of size, the size of my picture frame thing, something that you could actually watch, videos on. But that sounds a little bit like the Arcos 5 to me. So whether there's going to be one of those come out or not, I don't know. Well, what a lot of jumble, what a lot of mess. I've still got one eye on the golf, you see. So let's have some music, and then I'm going to have my wine at the end, because if you don't need the wine, I think I certainly do now. Where are we? Yes. Well, this is another second in a sense, because it's Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 2. Now, I certainly have done a Rachmaninoff CD before. I think it was the Piano Concerto No. 3 I played last time. But even if it was 2, it was definitely not this version of it. So this is mid-price Classics for Pleasure, Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 2, and it's Martino Trimivo, can't pronounce that, and the Philharmonia Orchestra. So I'm going to play the third movement of the second piano concerto, and let's hope the volume's okay. Here we go. Right to the end of the third movement. Virtually the last minute of it, I think. And I'm going to have to stop it. Oh, it's awful doing that. But a mid-priced Classics for Pleasure, Rachmaninoff Piano Concerto No. 2, and virtually all, I've got about 4 recordings of this. They're all wonderful. That was one of the first CDs I bought, so that has been out at least 15 years. Hope it's still available. Okay, well, I apologise again. Real family life has moved me out of my comfort zone for doing this in terms of time of the day. But hopefully we'll have a bit more Doctor Who content next week and possibly get back to having a book. But I'm going to compensate myself, if not yourselves, by having 2 wines to taste today. Now, one of the wines, the first one, is actually a wine that I drunk not tonight, but I had it yesterday, and I thought it was quite nice, and it deserved a mention. It's let's get that in focus. Borough Brook, Southeastern Australian, Shiraz, 2008, and this is in the UK, expertly blended by Marks and Spencers. Look at that, 14% by volume, and it was rather nice. So I've just put a little bit of that out in my little virgin wine glass. So here we go. And that's got that lovely blackberry, cassis, I think they call it sometimes. Beautiful flavour. It's got a little bit of licorice, and it's got quite a lot of spice. And let me have a look what it says on the back. It's a lovely full-bodied wine. Elegant hints of black pepper and grilled herbs. Cassis, some plum flavours as well as hints of black pepper. I'm getting the pepper, but I can get a little bit of licorice as well on that. I think that's rather nice. I can't remember how much. I think it's about a £7 wine, so let's call it a $10 wine, and it's a Marks and Spencers wine. Okay, let me have another little sip of that, and then we'll go to wine 2. Beautiful. Okay, what's wine 2? Well, wine 2 is from my Naked Wines again, and it's Dusty Dog, South Australia 2006 Cabernet Sauvignon, and it's, let's have a look, 14%. A chance to see that. Let's read it, what it says. Penrith Estate Wines is a combination of several years of planning for 4 friends with a passion for good wine. It's a fine example of this Australian variety of Cabernet Sauvignon with generous oak flavours and a full palate, which makes the wine an ideal accompaniment for meat and pasta dishes. So let's see if it challenges that Shiraz. Oh, again, that earthiness coming through very strongly. Quite a lot of oak in that. Quite a lot of oakiness. In fact, I would say the oak is slightly overpowering the fruit in that, but it's very, very pleasant. But this has only been opened about half an hour or so, so it may actually mellow a little bit more or integrate a little bit more. Let me have another taste. It's got a very intense and long finish, and it has got, again, that sort of slight peppery notes, slightly drier, and that sort of, I can't explain it, earthiness, and definitely much more oak than that one. I've got a feeling that's not really come round yet. I think I need to give that a time to air out. It's got, that's got lovely legs on that. I don't think you can see them on the video. Very intense at the end, and that is nice, but it's not quite fully integrated. But it may well be, as I say, I've not had it open very long. That is Dusty Dog, South Australia 2006 Cabernet Sauvignon, and I got it through my naked wires, although it doesn't look as though it's exclusive to them. 14%. I'll enjoy that more later. Well, I again apologise for a slightly jumbled up show. The last 2 weeks with Easter and family events have pushed my recording this well into the evening, maybe when I'm not at my best. So hopefully next week we'll be back to doing it earlier in the day with a bit more preparation and hopefully a bit more Doctor Who. And with that, this is Dave AC on vblog 090, going back to the golf before I go on and watch Ashes to Ashes. Oh, and don't forget, the Cultdom Collective will be talking about episode 2 of the Matt Smith era, and the episode, of course, is called The Beast Below. Hope you'll check that out, and then maybe come and listen with us on the Cultdom Collective, TalkShoe ID 54821 at 2 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. TalkShoe site. Bye all.